Yeah, because it was super bright. Is that too dark? Oh gosh, I hate the lighting situation. It's like this light is bright, but it's like, dang, it was so bright that I can't even like see myself. And I look so ashy and stuff. So yeah, I'm just trying to get this light together, but I think it's cool now. Hi ladies, welcome back to my video. It's Modest K. And today on this beautiful, it is a beautiful day. It's just really cold. Today is December 1st. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I love fall, right? I love fall. I don't really like the cold. Like I literally have on like a jacket right now. I mean not a jacket, I meant a knitted blanket. I don't like the cold, but I love the spirit of December. It just has a different feeling. Like each season when it changes, it has a different feeling for me. Like summer, you get this rowdy feeling, like and then spring, fall, you just get this mellow, chill feeling, and then winter you get a cozy feeling. Like I don't know if it's just me. Comment below if that's you as well, but that's me. I love when the seasons change and I get the feelings that I get. But I don't like the cold. I am not a fan of the cold. If you know me personally, you know that for a fact. I hate the cold. But that's not why we're here. We're not here to talk about me or how much I don't like the cold. But we're here to talk about forgiveness and why we should forgive. I miss this. Let's get straight to the point. Why should we forgive? Now I know that we live in an era of self-love, self-care, self, all about me, not saying selfish. It is a selfish era, I'm be honest. This is a selfish era that we live in, where we're very constantly like me, how this affects me, how this makes me feel. So I think to start the December season off, the fall season, I'm not the fall, the winter season off, I think to start it off, I think it would be best if we talk about forgiveness. It's too cold to be holding grudges. And then it's gonna be too hot to be holding grudges. Either way, don't hold grudges. But let's talk about forgiveness. All right, so why we should forgive. So personally, me, I think forgiveness is just important all around. I feel like forgiveness is it just speaks to your character, the type of person you are. If you hold grudges and be like that, it's like, how can we get anything done? How can somebody work with somebody that when you're not allowed to make any mistakes around them or be a human, be a person? You know what I'm trying to say? Because we all make mistakes, we all fall short, so it's like, to have high expectations of people when you can't even apply that to yourself, or even if you do apply that to yourself and you think that you're perfect, you're not. So it's like, personally, I think that I'm gonna be the one to tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you and be real. Nobody's perfect. Nobody has it all together. It doesn't matter how much it looks like they got it together mentally, nobody has it all together. We all suffer and we all fall short. Like, we all are trying to be the best version of ourselves each and every day, and that takes discipline, that takes courage, that takes faith, that takes like a lot, and some people it's a little easier than for it's a little easier for some people than others, and we all are learning, and that's why I think forgiveness is very important. So number one, why we should forgive. Personally, I believe in giving people grace. I think grace is very important, and I know it's hard. It can be hard when someone hurts you and they don't think about you, in the moment, or think about the fact that your actions cause that reaction, or just they don't think about how they don't think about you and how they made you feel. But I think grace plays a big role. Grace plays a big role because it gives us that window of like, all right, you hurt me, right? You hurt me a lot. That there's room for forgiveness. You feel me? That's what grace is. Grace is room for forgiveness. You know, you give somebody that room, you know, that space that you can forgive them. You know, that's what grace is for. Grace, you know, and God gives us grace. God gives us grace when we don't know when we're doing wrong. God gives us grace all the time throughout our lives, you know. And this is something I love this. So there's a scripture in the Bible, Matthew chapter 18:21. It talks about the unforgiving servant, and because you know, you get to that point, right? I'm sorry, you get to that point where you be like, how many times, Lord, how many times do I need to forgive this person after they done did me, you know, terribly wrong? Like, how many times do I need to forgive you? Like, you feel me? How many times do you think that I'm gonna allow you to keep treating me crazy? Are you crazy? Like, and it's like, who's crazy? The person that's allowing you to do this, or the person that's doing it? You know, and I'm gonna be honest. This was me before I learned this. I'm gonna be honest, which was not that long ago. So I'm gonna be honest. You know, that's how it was. I'm like, who's crazy? The person that's allowing you to treat them crazy, or the person that's treating you crazy? Because people only do what you allow them to do, right? God pointed to me the unforgiven servant. So the parable speaks about how there was a servant who went to the king, and he owed the king a lot of money, a lot of debts in the Bible. And it talks about how he begged the king, please give me grace, please have patience with me, you feel me? And the king, his heart, he felt so bad, you know, so he was like, I'm gonna have patience with you, I'm gonna give you some time, I'm gonna give you grace, you feel me? So then that same person that asked for grace went and turned around and didn't pass on grace to someone else, basically. Like, someone else owed him money, and the guy was like, yo, I'm gonna pay you back, give me grace, you feel me? And the guy said, nah, you going to jail, like, you feel me, for what you need to suffer, because you should have paid me, you know? And sometimes we get like that, and so the king found out that he did that, you know, and he was like, how could you do that? How could you sit there and ask me for grace but can't give it, you know? And it's like, I was like, wow, right? So Peter said to God, and he asked Peter asked God, Matthew chapter 18 verse 21. He asked God, he said, all right, Christ, so how many times, I'm saying the getaway, I'm sorry. He said, all right, Christ, so how many times somebody gotta do me wrong, sin against me, before I'm able to, how many times do I forgive somebody after they done sin against me? 7 times? Like, give me a number. I need a number, you feel me? So that I won't, basically, I think he was trying to, like, get understanding of justifying it's okay to be angry at somebody, not to forgive somebody. And Christ said, not 7 times, but 70 times 7. So when I heard this, I just got out the shower, and I heard it, and I'm like 70 times 7, right? And I'm like, what? So I always been taught forgiveness. My mom has always stored that in me, and plus that's always been in me. Not always been in me. I have learned that over the years, because I just learned that people make mistakes, and I'm not perfect, you know, and I want people to forgive me. So I try to always extend the same thing. As you get older and you get grown, you start to lose patience with people. And so basically, Christ said 70 times 7. Not 7 times, but 70 times 7. And I think Christ said that to make a point. By time, so 70 times 7 is 490. I did the math. So I'm like, all right, you forgive somebody 490 times, right? By the time you even get to like the 100th time, the spirit the Holy Spirit worked on you. You put in that work, because you seek God, you shall find. So you put in that work to work on yourself. To always forgive. You be like, all right, I'm gonna forgive you. I'm gonna forgive you. I'm gonna forgive you. I'm gonna forgive you. Right? By the time you reach the 100th time, you're gonna be saved from that. Like, you already spiritually matured from the fact of learning how to forgive somebody. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, the number doesn't matter. Like, I think Christ said that, because he's trying to show us it doesn't matter consistently. Like, consistently you forgive somebody. That story just, it changed my whole mindset of forgiveness, and it really, really, you should read it, definitely. It's best to get it yourself, best to read it yourself and learn, and read it. But it's like when you hear, it's like when you hear Christ talk, when you hear Christ speak, it just does something. It does something to your spirit. And it's like when I heard him say 70 times 7, I'm like, by the time I get to the 7th time of forgiving this person, I'm already a forgiven person, So it's like, and I'm like, wow, that was cool. That was cool right there. Like, and it's like, that was a good way of, that was such an awesome way of telling somebody consistently. That was an awesome way of telling somebody always, Number 2, why we should forgive people, because it is hard and you don't want to. So this is for my stubborn, I don't know, or just the people that be like, listen, I'm gonna be honest, like, I'm laughing because you, as a good person, you be like, you know what? I'm telling you, this is how you be like, Lord, alright, it's cool. It's cool. I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to forgive them. I don't want to right now. I'm gonna be honest. This is how I have felt this way. I have felt that way. And if you have felt that way as well, but you get like that as a person. You get fed up, and you get to a point where you're like, I don't want to forgive you because you're selfish, you're prideful, you really don't give a damn about me. Like, you don't care about me. It starts to get you like that. It starts to get you like, I'm being so kind to you. I'm being so nice to you. Like, I'm loving you. You have Christ love people and things like that. And you're acting crazy. So you want to act crazy? I'm gonna act crazy too. You feel me? The problem with not forgiving, that's when you get to a point like that, you have to. That means you're spiritually, you're fighting, and you're reaching a point of, you're getting hard-hearted, towards that person. And I have been to a point as well in my life where I'm like, yeah, no, I'm done. Like, you feel me? And that's why the unforgiven servant did speak so much to me, because it's like, I sat there and I'm like, I look, I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, dang, I need to stop saying that. I was like, dang, like, I put you before me. Like, I always do that. And I don't want to forgive you no more, because it's like you're messing me up. You're breaking me down. And that's when you have to, because you don't ever listen to me, okay? You don't ever give the enemy, give nobody that much power over your spirit and your peace for you to start acting exactly how they act, okay? And that's the problem. Us as people, we we good people, when you're a good person, you do get fed up. But that's when you at that point, that is why you need to do it, because it's the hardest part. It's the hardest point. It's hard at that point, right? And if you don't, you're ending up just like the person that hurt you. Hurt people. And the whole point is you want to break that. You don't want to be the person that's hurting people. You know, you want to be the example. You want to be better. You want to do better. You feel me? So it's like, when you sit there and you allow somebody to have that much power over your spirit to the point they switch it to it being negative, and that you're a negative person, even if you be like, oh no, I'm not negative to everybody, I'm just negative to that person. Lights cannot dwell in darkness. It's just the way it go. And it's like God has made it clear that you sin, you will lose the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit is that voice that tells you when you're doing right, when you're doing wrong. Keep going, you keep going. You feel me? That that comforts us. She's comfort. So it's like, when you sit there and you harden your heart and you like, nah, no. You allowed that person to change you. That person has so much power over you. You gave that person more power. You put that person before the word of God, and you put that person before all the work you done did for you, because you done worked so hard to become a kind-hearted person. You feel me? You worked so hard to be a good and kind-hearted person, and now you're a whole nother person. You feel me? Now you don't want to forgive nobody. You think once you stop forgiving one person, it's gonna trickle down. It's not no, oh yeah, I can forgive everybody else, but I can't, I just can't forgive you. No, it's, I can't forgive you, and then it's like, oh, well, that person hurt me too, I can't forgive that person, so on and so forth. So you don't want to be like that. You don't ever want that spirit on you. You don't want an unforgiving spirit. You want a forgiving spirit. And that leads me to number three, why we should always forgive. We should always forgive because I know everyone says this, so you can be forgiven. Okay, now, when you hear this, you like, alright, so I can be forgiven. But I'm being honest with you. So you can be forgiven. Like, the way that you do things, treat people how you want to be treated, that's also in Matthew. But do unto others as you want done unto you. Treat people how you want to be treated. So it's like, the way things are on earth, the way you are on earth is the way it will be in heaven. So if you act like you don't want to forgive, God is going to act like he don't want to forgive you. And not in a way of like the way that we think, the way that he think. And that's even worse, because we don't even know really too much about how God thinks. That's impossible for us to know. But the Lord has made it clear, if you don't forgive, you will not be forgiven. So it's like, when you do, the way you act towards others is the way that it will be done to you. The way that God, after a while, God will make it clear how he will do you. Things like that. So it's like, if you sit there and you be like, you know what, I don't want to be forgiven, I don't care, you literally spitting in God's face. You're literally saying like, Lord, I don't care about your word. I don't care. I don't want to be forgiven, And not being forgiven, not having grace, after Christ done died for our sins, after Christ done died for you feel me, so that you can be forgiven, you're literally telling the Most High God, nah, you don't have to forgive me. It's cool. I want to take every sin that I have done. When it's time to be judged, it's cool. You feel me? Not me. I'm sorry. I can't. I gotta be forgiven. I gotta be forgiven for the known and the unknown. I don't know everything, so it's like, I need to be forgiven every day. Lord Heavenly Father, forgive me consistently, because that's how it is. We commit. Do you know that God see hatred? When you hate your brother, that's like killing your brother. That's like already causing harm. When you think about harming somebody, you already done it. I'm telling you, it's crazy. So imagine if you do harm your brother. That's 10 times. That's like killing your brother. That's how it is in this. That's how God thinks. He tells us that part. So it's like when I found that out too, that blew my mind. But it's like when you sit there and you be like, no, I'm not gonna forgive this time. You know, I don't want to be forgiven. You literally telling God, every sin I commit, that's cool. You know, it's fine. I'm gonna take all of it. You know, oh God, that's too much for me. I'm sorry. I don't know about y'all, but I cannot, because I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I get angry. You know, sometimes. Well, back then I have got so angry. I was not in the right spirit. You feel me? So I've thought about hurting someone. You know, even people I love. I have thought about hurting people. I have been in fights and things like that. So before I matured in things, and it's like I want to be forgiven for that, because God makes it clear. Oh God, it's just I cannot. Nah, I'm sorry. And I'm telling y'all, like, don't be that person that's so stubborn and prideful, because pride comes before the fall. Like, and that's also in the Bible. And it's like, forgive so you could be forgiven. That's the bottom line, because it's like the things you think is already sin. You have the spirit and the flesh fighting consistently, you know? So it's like stuff that pop up in your mind, and it's like that's already sin. You know, that's already sin. You ain't even do nothing. You know, you didn't even do nothing yet. And it's like, that's too much for me. You know what I'm trying to say? That's enough for me to act right, to try to think better and act better as I can. You know what I'm trying to say? So if I already thought this person's making me mad, if I already thought, like, you know how sometimes you be like, sometimes you see, you know, sometimes you be like, you seen yourself hit somebody. I didn't want to say this, but you ever seen yourself already hit somebody? They made you so mad, and it's like you looked at them for a while, you already seen yourself do it. You know what I'm trying to say? But you had to have that self-control for a second. So basically back then, when I was working on myself, when God was working on me, sometimes when I would get super upset because I didn't have self-control back then, I would, somebody say something slick, or somebody was to hurt me, or I was to lose my patience with somebody, I did see myself hit them. So if you already thought that, and I read, if you thought that, you already did it. The things we think, we already did it. We already committed the sin. You wanna know why? Because that's what's in your heart. Oh God. It's just like, and once I thought, I'm like, oh God, Lord, that's why I need to be forgiven. It's a few other things, but that's one of the things why forgiveness is important. Like, it just is. Like, because, and then think about the people that don't know that. Like, think about the people that don't know that but don't do it, right? But they always think like that. You know, they be like, I ain't gonna do it, Lord, but she got one more time, because you already know what I would have done. I would have already, right? and even when you speak those things, it's just too much for me. I'm sorry. I don't mean to say it like that, but that's too much for me. Like, I don't want to, I can't afford it, basically. Spiritually, I can't afford to be playing with God in those type of ways. So forgive, because you want God to forgive you, even when you don't even know that you did wrong. Number 4, why you should forgive is to heal and be free. So when someone sins against you, or when someone does something that hurts you, right? It does something to you. And we as people do need to start admitting that. Like, you know, when you hurt me, it does something. Every action that someone calls, you know, against you, or offensive and things like that, every action that someone causes, it hurts, right? And it does something, right? And it's like, you need to heal from that and be free. If you do not, just imagine, if you do not choose to forgive them. So let's say if somebody was to, I rebuke all of this, I don't speak this over in my life, but let's say if somebody was to harm somebody that you love, right? And you like, I'm never forgiving that person, right? Then let's say if somebody was to steal from you, oh yeah, nah, I'm never forgiving that person. Then let's say now you carrying that, you feel me? Then somebody just offends you, bump you or something, you feel me? Oh yeah, I'm never forgiving that person. Oh yeah, you my op, you're a part of it, bro. You added to the list, right? How long does that list needs to get before it's too much to carry? Ask yourself, like, honestly, how long do your list need to get before it's too much to carry? When I got married, I felt all of this stuff, right? I don't know about y'all, but when you don't forgive and forget, like, forgive and move on, forgive people and move on, like, truly, it holds on to you. Trauma, hurt, pain, all of that sits with you, right? So after I got married, it was all this stuff. I forgave, right? But I still was hurt by it. I talked, and then stuff that I never talked about, stuff that I never said to my mom. I sat there and I told my mom. I told her a few things, and I told her, I told her some things. I told things I never told my husband. I told him, and there was this weight lifted, y'all. It was this weight lifted, like, when you truly forgive people and when you truly let things go spiritually in your heart, you don't feel that weight, that weight that you feel. And it's like, that's what I mean when I'm saying, how long does it need to get? How long does that list need to get before you let that stuff go? You'll never heal from it. Oh God, you'll be bitter, angry, depressed. Then you asking yourself, Lord, why am I depressed today? Lord, why am I not motivated? Why am I stuck here? Lord, why am I still in the same position that I was in last year? Years before that. Why am I so angry? Why am I so sad and hurt? Why am I a victim? Like, you feel me? You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. You gotta forgive people, because it will sit with you forever. You feel me? Like, that's why you should want to be forgiven, because it's like, how much do you think you can carry before you break? Before it's too much? Give it to God. Let him carry it. Vengeance is the Lord's. Like, that's his job. You know what I'm trying to say? That's him. That's his works. That's what he's there for. And it's like, I'm not superhuman. I'm not strong. I'm not as strong. I'm not that. I can't handle all of that, And I pray that one day we all can get to a point where we are able to let a lot of things go. And because it's too much sometimes. Childhood trauma, everything. It's just too much. You have to heal from that stuff, because it would change you. You feel me? Like, believe it or not, it will. And it's like changing, and it's like you'll look back and you'll be like, damn, how did I get this point? I'm telling you this because I went through this. And it's like, I don't want anybody else to make the mistake. I didn't have anybody to talk to me and tell me these things, you feel me? And I had to go to God. I'm like, I'm broken. I had to tell God, look, Lord, I'm broken. I'm cussing. I'm angry. I'm fed up. I'm sick. I'm done with people hurting me. You feel me? And it's like, I didn't want to read. I didn't want to pray, because I knew that the Lord, I knew that I was going to have to open my heart. And I hardened my heart so I can get through the things that I was going through for the last few years. I harden my heart. I'm like, I can't go to you right now, Lord, because if I go to you, I gotta I gotta open my heart, you know, and I gotta confess. And I was being stubborn and I was being deceitful. I was being prideful. You feel me? I didn't want to open up my heart because I was like, if I open up my heart, it's gonna hurt, and I'm gonna be crying, and I just want to be strong, you know. I want to be strong. I want to be strong, and it's like that don't mean you're not strong. Forgiveness is the hardest thing in the world, and if a person can forgive, that makes them the strongest person in the world. I don't care what nobody say. If you can forgive somebody that stabbed you in the goddamn back, and that really took you and your love and your patience and your kindness for granted, if you can forgive, that makes you a really strong person. We don't have that level of self-control, that maturity, you feel me, that spiritually mature. Some people not that spiritually mature. People aren't that kind-hearted, you know, and that level-headed enough to realize what's more important, you know, holding this grudge or moving on, me prospering, moving on, you know, because the more stuff you carry, the more stuff you hold, it makes you stuck. It makes you stuck spiritually, it makes you stuck mentally, it makes you stuck emotionally. You're stuck, and it's like you gonna look in the mirror and not recognize yourself. And I'm being honest with you, I have looked in the mirror and I did not know who was looking back at me. You feel me? I never, if you know me, I don't like cursing. It just wasn't. I feel like if you gotta curse, you don't, you know, you don't have I'm not trying to say I never ever cursed. Like, that's, you know, I was a kid and I probably said one or two bad words. But, you know, a couple bad words when I was younger. But as I got older and I grew up, yeah, no, I didn't like cursing. I thought cursing was just, you don't have that, your vocabulary ain't big enough. You feel me? So you curse because you don't know too many words. And I felt like, nah, I didn't, and plus I just didn't like it. I feel like it was so vulgar, it just wasn't right. It just never sit with me. Cursing just never sit with me spiritually. I reached a point where I was cursing and I was so angry and it would come out. And I'm like, it was so much. And I'm like, to y'all that may not mean nothing, but the way your character, who you are as a person, how much you have worked on yourself, you don't never want to lose that. And I thought for a second I thought I was too far gone to be saved. You know, I'm like, I'm cursing, I'm bitter, you know, I'm angry, you know. And it's like God has shown me, you're never too broken. You're just never too broken. And I could cry. I'm not gonna cry because I can't cry right now. I just can't. But it's just so true. You're never too broken to be fixed, and you're never too broken to want to be fixed. And it's okay to want to be fixed. It's okay to want those things. People think that being bitter and angry makes you hard, but it makes you soft because you're just operating in your emotions. You feel me? You just in your emotions, you're in your feelings, and that's soft, you know. And it's like, that's women are soft, and that's why we're emotional. So as a man, even as a woman, when you're so angry and bitter, you're always emotional, you know. And it's like, that doesn't make you strong. A strong person, being overly emotional does not make you strong. It makes you unstable. You feel me? Like, something happens, you're triggered. Long story short, I'm sorry, I just ranted, but you want to be healed and you want to be free. Number 5, now that we have talked about why you should forgive, let's talk about a little bit of, give you some advice on how you can forgive, the process of how you can work on forgiving people. Admit to the person, one thing you can do to start the process of forgiving somebody, admit to yourself, because don't lie to yourself, admit to yourself, admit to God, and admit to that person that they have hurt you, you know. But basically the whole process is leaving the door open for forgiveness. You want to tell somebody that they hurt you, right? So that you're able to forgive them. If you don't tell somebody that they offended you, if you don't tell somebody, hey, you hurt me, and if you don't, tell them and let them know, sometimes people don't know that they hurt you. You ever had a situation where somebody did something to you and you cut them off, or not you cut them off, but like you basically was like, you made me feel that way, and they'd be like, I'm so sorry, that was never my intentions, I apologize. Like, what can I do what have I done, or what can I do so that I don't make you feel this way again? And there you go. That's what you're leaving the door open for. And you want to always, you want to leave that open. You don't want to be a person that's like, that pretends to forgive. You want to always rekindle a relationship, or make things better with somebody, because you will want the same thing. I'm pretty sure there's been times where you done did something, and you like, if you would have told me, I would have apologized. I would have definitely apologized to you, because I love and I care about you that much. I don't mind telling you that I was wrong. Extend the same thing to someone else. Give them the chance to apologize. That's why I always tell people, hey, if I offended you, let me know so I can apologize, because I don't never want you to think that my feelings is above yours. You feel me? I don't ever want you to think that I'm above apologizing if I'm wrong. The next thing is on how to start the process of forgiving is give yourself time. Give yourself time to let the situation go. Now me, I had a problem with this. Somebody would do something to me, it would hurt me, and I would be like, oh, I forgive. I wouldn't set no boundaries. I wouldn't give me some time. I want to give myself some time. And no, I don't mean years. Okay, I'm not putting a stamp on it, but I don't mean years. I don't mean years, okay? You don't have years. You don't know when Christ is coming back. Not just that, but you don't have years to be trying to get over something. That's no. We're getting over this. So you have to push the issue. You have to push it, right? You have to force yourself. So basically this is something new, so you have to force yourself to learn to get over it. So give yourself some time and some space. Why? Because one, it helps the person reflect and helps you also reflect on the situation. It gives y'all room. You already apologized. Now give each other a little bit of space. Let me heal from this situation. You feel me? If y'all start now, if y'all have that type of relationship where it's all cool, then it's all cool. You feel me? But if they have did something so bad to the point that it's hard to forgive them, you need time. You do need a little bit of time, because the reason why I say that is because you see, if you come back, right, and let's say you come back and they do something else, it's that pain on top of pain on top of pain, disappointment on top of disappointment, and that's what makes it hard to forgive a person. That's when your heart starts to turn hardened and your mind starts to be like, all right, you know what, this person is just not right. You know what I'm trying to say? And that's why you don't want that. You want to give that space for a second so that you can get over it, so that y'all can, come back together, and it's not still on your mind. It's not, once they do a little bit of something, you like, I'm over it. You feel me? That's what you need. You need that. You need a little bit of time for that. A little bit of time to start to have the process of forgiving someone. The next thing is how to start the process of forgiving someone. The next thing is set some boundaries. What do I mean by that? So I didn't know how to set boundaries. I thought it was me, but boundaries are needed. The Most High has boundaries all up and through his Bible. Boundaries are just needed. Laws are needed. Like, you need boundaries, because if you don't set boundaries, what happens? It leaves room for the same thing over and over and over. You're in the same spot over and over and over. So boundaries are very, very, very important, because you do not want to keep leaving room for that same issue. The whole point of forgiving someone is to let go of those issues. So let's say if you told me something and I want to tell your business, and I want to tell everybody, I'm going around telling everybody. I'm not saying never talk to me again. I'm saying set those boundaries. Don't tell me your business. You feel me? We still go out, still hang out. You know, you have a friend and she still, you know, you still go out with her, you still hang out with her, things like that. But after you done healed, give yourself some time, you know, set those boundaries. Because if you don't set that boundary, it will make room for the next thing. Because if you tell that friend again, because that friend isn't spiritually mature as you are, you know, that friend hasn't worked on what you're working on. So it's like, if you tell her again and she slips up and she tells somebody else, and then now it's going through the grapevine or whatever it's called, and now everybody knows this situation. You don't want that. You don't want to keep giving somebody, and then you shouldn't be telling nobody your business anyway. But wait, that's a whole nother situation. But what I'm saying is, you don't want to keep making the same mistakes over and over, because at that point, I'm sorry, you know, like, you should learn. You want to learn from the mistakes that you make. So if somebody was to steal from you, you wouldn't let them, you wouldn't give them your bank card. You know what I'm trying to say? If somebody was to, you know, if you know a girl is very like flirty, she like to be all on everybody's man, you just wouldn't invite her on a date, or you know, you would set those boundaries. And that's why boundaries are very important, because you don't want to put someone in a situation to keep hurting you. This is hard. So after you learned about forgiveness, after you done gave it some time, after you done told them that they hurt you, y'all say sorry, y'all make up, you give yourself some time, you set that boundary, now you go hang out with that person. Okay? Don't cut them off. No. Because do Christ cut you off when you do something? Or not just that, but do everybody cut you off when you hurt them? You know, think about that. Treat people how you want to be treated. Everybody makes mistakes, right? We all made that clear. We talked about that in the beginning. Everybody makes mistakes. When you make a mistake, you don't want nobody to just cut you off, right? You want to work through them. You wanna get through it. You wanna learn how to work through something rather than running away from it. So it's like, if somebody hurt you, after you done healed, after you set those boundaries, go hang out with that person. I'm telling you that because that's what I did. I had to do that, and I forgave them. It was easier to forgive them once I set that boundary. Once I started being because something in you, I'm gonna be honest, there was something in me that was saying, no, I don't want to be near you. And that's not forgiveness. You know what that is? That's a grudge. You feel me? It doesn't matter how innocent you think it is, you're holding a grudge. And it doesn't matter how fake forgiveness you think you done did, you know, how much of you can do all of this, but if you don't give that person a chance to be in a good light in your eyes again, then all of this was pointless, you know? So it's like, I would tell you, after the boundaries, go out with that person. You feel me? Hang out with that person. You know, do whatever you guys like to do. And it's because that person made a mistake and you gave them room to make up for the mistake. So now y'all having a good time. Now it's under the bridge. Now y'all done moved on, y'all got past it. It probably make y'all better. And this one is very, very important. Don't change for no one. Don't change for no one. Listen, sis. Okay, I understand they got you messed up, okay? I understand they have pushed the limits. I understand that you're fed up, you're tired, you're hurt, you're broken, all of it. I understand. I know all of it. I know all of it. I understand. Don't allow it to change you. Don't allow it to make you a victim of the situation. Be a survivor. Be a person who got through it that can talk about it. You know what I'm trying to say? Don't be a victim. A victim is, you know, don't be a victim. A victim is a person who can't get over the situation, who sits there and like, oh, I've been hurt so many times. Nah, I don't trust nobody. Now, oh God, that's, you don't want to be like that, because you will never be happy like that. You'll block so many blessings. You'll miss out on so many good times. And time is not promised, guys. Like, today is not promised, tomorrow is not promised. Like, I live across the street from a park, and they shoot kids died not too long ago. And I try not to go to that park with my son because well, we're not going now, it's winter, it's too cold. But I try not to take him to the park too. I try not to go to that park anymore, but, and it's because of that. But kids, teenagers have been, they just died recently, a few of them, at the park across the street from me. And it's like, tomorrow, and they were children, their mother, after being a mom, I can't, so it's like, don't allow it to change you. Don't allow somebody to, don't make that change. Don't allow somebody to harden you like that, to make you like that, bitter and angry. Every time somebody did something to me, every time somebody done hurt me, and I never understood. I've been not liked. Sometimes I'll be like, yo, damn. I'm sorry. Sometimes I'll be like, damn, like, what's your, like, I didn't literally ask people too. I'll be like, what's your reason? Oh, I don't know. I just didn't like you. That tells you something. That's a spiritual situation. And it's not that you don't like me. It's that demon that you got working all up and through you and all that situation, or whatever. But when you don't know why you don't like somebody, you should be asking yourself something. But basically, yeah, you don't never want to become the person that hurt you. You don't ever want to be, or you don't want to be the victim of a situation. You don't want to sit there and always and be like, yeah, I don't trust nobody, I'm done with everybody. You don't want to be like that. And it's like, because that still would make you bitter, it would make you angry, it would make you a few things. And I'm telling you that because I done been through it, I done seen it. And sometimes when we get into these mindsets and these spiritual, and just get into these mindsets that we get into, it's hard to get out. You don't never want to be too far gone that you can't get out. And again, you're never too far that God can't fix you, but you have to know, you have to go to God, and you have to admit your wrongs and admit where you fall short. So I'm closing my book, my handy dandy notebook. Okay, so ladies, I said all of that to say that I pray that we all can have the level of forgiveness that Christ had, because it still blows my mind to this day. Every day. If you are married, forgiveness is very important in a marriage. But watch the movie. I don't know if you ever watched it. Watch the movie Fireproof. That is my favorite movie. And the reason why it's my favorite movie is because it literally it's just forgiveness. Fireproof is just a movie. Watch the movie Fireproof. It's a love story. I love love stories, so of course, if you love love stories, of course. But like, it's a great movie. It's about a husband and a wife, and it's just awesome, And my favorite part is when he said to his father, I'm gonna spoil it just a little bit. When he said to his father, he said, yo, like that, like, I'm always saying the ghetto virgin. Basically, he says to his father, how am I supposed to love somebody? How am I supposed to love somebody that constantly spits in my face, that constantly hurts me, that constantly, tell me they don't care about me, tell me they don't love me, tell me they don't want me. How can I love somebody in a marriage like that? And or just period. And the dad was standing near the cross, and he said, he said Christ. He said same thing. He said that's how it was for Christ. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, it's so true, y'all. It's true. It's like, what? Christ loved the world so much that he died for everyone. That still, people who even curse him, people that that be like, oh, God ain't real, oh, da da da. Christ died for them, and he still give them a chance each and every day to make up for the mistake. Like, That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. I'm gonna be honest. It's hard. It's not hard. It's something that we should all strive to do, and I'm gonna strive to do it. But it's in awe. You just in awe when you see the situation, you hear the situation. And the father said, son, because he didn't believe in God, the father told the son, the reason why you can't love your wife during this time is because you don't know what love is. True love is forgiveness, y'all. I can't. True love is loving somebody at their worst. That is true forgiveness, and that is true love. True love is it's having somebody hurt you to the point you can't recognize yourself, and telling that person, it's okay, I forgive you. Like, I'm sorry. I got a lot of growing to do, but it's like, when it's just so many situations. Like, when I hear situations like that and I see situations like that, and like, I think to myself, I'm like, how can you do that? How can you be that strong? And that's what strength is. Strength is forgiving somebody after they hurt you, you know? And it's just, I'm in awe. I'm just always going to be in awe. And I respect those. I don't care what nobody say. I respect anybody that can still love and care for someone that have hurt them, you know? We talked about boundaries, and we talked about, you know, the whole how to get through the situation. You know, you let somebody know, hey, like, after a while, you let them know, like, boundaries. You set boundaries so you don't keep, you know? But it's like, that's true love. His father told him, he said, son, the reason why you can't love your wife at this time is because you can't give her what you don't have. You don't have love. True love comes from the Lord. True love, like, no, you don't know what love is. You know, you don't know what love is to give it. And true love is forgiveness. That's what his father told him. And his father asked him, he said, Lord, he said, son, are you ready to accept the Lord so that you can help your marriage? And he said, yes. And I'm like, yo, y'all gotta watch the movie, y'all. I just love it. I love it, y'all. I could talk to y'all all day, but I gotta go because my baby is about to wake up. But I love y'all so much. I pray that we all can work on forgiveness, you feel me? And don't forget, I love you. God loves you. Don't forget, no, that's not how you say it. Don't forget, you are loved. I love you. And God loves you. Bye, ladies.